The stars above shone like tiny diamonds scattered across black velvet. The human ship Odyssey drifted silently through the void, its engines humming softly. Captain Elena Voss leaned against the console, her eyes scanning the radar. It had been a routine patrol mission, far beyond the borders of the United Terran Federation. No enemy had been detected for days, only the emptiness of space and the distant glimmer of planets. Her crew moved quietly, each focused on their tasks. Lieutenant Marcus Reed adjusted the ship's trajectory, while engineer Lila Chen monitored the energy cores. The ship's AI, named Aura, had detected nothing unusual. Everything seemed calm. Too calm. "That's never a good sign," Marcus muttered under his breath. Elena heard him but didn't respond. She trusted her instincts more than any sensor. And her instincts were buzzing. Suddenly, a blip appeared on the radar. It was small, moving fast, and it didn't match any known ship signature. Aura confirmed it, an unidentified craft, heading straight for them at impossible speed. "Contact!" Elena shouted, gripping the console. "Aura, scan it. Who, or what, is approaching?" The AI's voice was calm, almost eerily calm. "Unknown. No life signs detected. Object is highly maneuverable. No weapons detected, yet." Elena frowned. "No weapons. That doesn't make it safe." The blip grew larger on the main screen, and then, in an instant, it was gone. One moment it was there, the next, it had vanished without a trace. Marcus's hand hovered over the weapons panel. "This is getting weird. How do you hide a ship in plain space?" Before anyone could answer, the ship jolted violently. Alarms blared, red lights flashing. The Odyssey rocked as if caught in a storm, though there was no storm to be seen. "Report," Elena barked. "Shields holding," Lila said, her voice tight. "But something just hit the hull." "No, it didn't hit, it grazed." That wasn't an accident." Elena's mind raced. She had trained for alien encounters, space pirates, even rogue AI. But this was something else. Something that had been waiting for them, watching. Suddenly, a deep, resonant voice echoed through the ship's communication system. It wasn't mechanical, it wasn't human. It was something in between, a growl that made the hair on the back of their necks stand up. "You are not prepared," the voice said. Then silence. "Did anyone else hear that?" Marcus whispered, pale. "Yes," Elena said firmly. "And it didn't sound friendly." The crew scrambled to their stations. Every sensor, every camera, every scanner was activated. They looked at each other with growing fear. The stories humans told themselves, about being the most advanced, the most civilized, the strongest, suddenly felt fragile. Aura interrupted. "Object is now inside the ship." Elena froze. "What do you mean, inside the ship?" "It bypassed the hull. No breach detected. Object is moving through the interior. Unknown entity." A silence fell over the room, thick and heavy. The kind of silence that made a person feel exposed, like someone, or something, was watching their very soul. Then it struck. The lights flickered. A low, vibrating growl resonated through the corridors. The crew could hear it echoing, coming closer, moving faster than anything human should move. Elena grabbed her plasma rifle. Marcus followed. Lila hesitated, but then joined them. The ship had suddenly become a trap, and they were inside it. "Stay close," Elena whispered. "We don't know what it wants." As they moved through the narrow corridors, they saw shadows darting past. Quick, precise, inhuman. A glint of something sharp reflected in the emergency lights. And then, they saw it. It was like nothing from any human imagination. Sleek, black, covered in scales that shimmered with a dark light, it moved with terrifying speed. Its eyes glowed red, scanning the crew. Its mouth opened slightly, revealing rows of sharp, glinting teeth. It was a predator, and it knew they were its prey. Elena's mind raced. They had always thought of themselves as the most civilized beings in the galaxy, proud of their intelligence, their diplomacy, their control. But now, confronted with raw, pure instinct and predation, they realized how fragile that civilization truly was. "Back to the bridge," Elena shouted. "We need to regroup." The crew ran, the predator following silently, almost enjoying the chase. Every turn, every corridor, every corner became a test of their wits, their courage, and their survival instincts. And somewhere deep inside, Elena knew this was only the beginning. The predator wasn't just hunting them. It was testing them, learning them, waiting for the moment to strike with finality. For the first time, humans were no longer the hunters. They were prey. The corridors of the Odyssey were now a maze of shadows and danger. Every step Elena and her crew took echoed against the metal walls, and the low hum of the ship's engines was drowned out by the soft, almost whispering sounds of movement. The predator was inside the ship, and it was patient, observing, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. "Why hasn't it attacked us yet?" Lila whispered, her voice trembling. "It's already inside. Why isn't it killing us?" Elena didn't answer. She didn't know. But instinct told her one thing. It was intelligent. Too intelligent to attack blindly. This creature was learning them, studying them, calculating every reaction. Marcus's hand tightened around his plasma rifle. "We can't just keep running. We need a plan." Elena nodded, her mind racing. The bridge was their safest option. They could seal the doors, activate the defense systems, and try to communicate with command. But getting there would not be easy. As they moved cautiously through another corridor, a sudden crash echoed behind them. Marcus spun around, gun raised, but there was nothing there. Only shadows that seemed to shift faster than the eye could follow. "It's playing with us," he muttered. "It wants to scare us." Suddenly, a panel on the wall burst open. A long, black appendage shot out and slammed against the corridor floor with a deafening clang. Elena fired instinctively, but the creature was gone before the shot could hit it. "Move. Now!" Elena yelled, pulling the others forward. They reached the central junction, where 3 corridors met. Aura's voice crackled over the intercom, tense for the first time. "Multiple breaches detected. Life signs are decreasing. Warning, predator is near." Elena's heart pounded. She had faced alien beasts before, but nothing like this. The predator was smart, fast, and brutal. They were not dealing with an ordinary enemy. From the corner of her eye, she saw a shimmer, a movement too quick to track. The predator struck, hitting Lila's side with blinding speed. She screamed, falling to the floor, and the creature vanished again, leaving only the echo of its growl. "Elena!" Marcus shouted, kneeling beside Lila. Her suit was torn, a deep scratch bleeding. "We need to get her to Med Bay." "Yes," Elena said, "but we can't split up. We stick together, or we're finished." They moved carefully, every step calculated. Elena could feel the predator's presence even when they couldn't see it. It was in the shadows, around the corners, waiting to test them, to push them to their limits. When they finally reached the Med Bay, Lila was rushed onto a bed. The automatic medical systems engaged, analyzing her injuries. "She's stable, but the predator is adaptive," Aura warned. "It is not acting randomly. It is hunting systematically." Elena clenched her fists. The word hunting echoed in her mind. This was no longer a simple encounter. They were prey in a game far beyond human understanding. "Bridge," Marcus said, his voice low but firm. "We have to get to the bridge. That's our only chance to fight back." Elena nodded. "Agreed. Med Bay can hold her for a few minutes. Let's move." As they ran, the ship seemed to change around them. The corridors that were once familiar now felt alien, twisted somehow by the predator's presence. Lights flickered, doors opened and closed on their own, and the shadows seemed to stretch and shift with a life of their own. A sudden shriek of metal echoed through the hall, and the predator struck again. This time it grabbed Marcus's leg, its strength far beyond human limits. He screamed, trying to free himself, but Elena fired at it, plasma shots hitting the wall as the creature disappeared into the shadows. "Move! Come on!" she yelled, pulling Marcus along. The adrenaline pushed them forward, fear sharpening every sense. Finally, the bridge was in sight. Elena's heart leapt. If they could reach it, they could seal the doors and activate the ship's emergency defenses. But the Predator was waiting. The moment they reached the entrance, the lights went out completely. The darkness was absolute. Panic rose, threatening to paralyze them. Then, from the black, the glowing red eyes appeared. The Predator had cornered them. Elena raised her rifle, aiming for the eyes, but it was too fast. It leaped, a blur of shadow and deadly intent, and slammed into the bulkhead with a force that shook the entire bridge. Alarms blared. Lights flickered back on, revealing empty space where the Predator had just been. Aura's voice was urgent now. "It is adaptive. It has learned your tactics. Immediate action required." Elena realized the truth. This was not just an alien beast. It was a perfect predator, designed to hunt and kill, smarter than anything humanity had faced. And yet, in that realization, a spark of defiance ignited within her. "They think we're just prey," she whispered. "But they don't know humans." The Predator's growl echoed again, this time from the very bowels of the ship, and Elena knew one thing for certain. The real hunt was only just beginning. The bridge was a storm of blinking lights and alarms. Elena's hands shook slightly as she gripped her plasma rifle. Marcus was beside her, still pale from the Predator's strike, and Lila was lying on the med bed, pale but conscious. The Predator had vanished again, leaving only a trail of destruction and dread. "This is getting worse," Marcus muttered, staring at the main console. "It knows us. It knows our moves. How do we fight something like that?" Elena's jaw tightened. "We adapt. We survive. That's what humans do. They think we're civilized and predictable. Let's prove them wrong." Aura's voice cut through the tension. "Bridge doors can be sealed. Emergency defense systems are operational but require manual activation. Warning: Predator may attempt to override." Elena's mind raced. "Then we lock it in. We make it think it's trapped. That's our chance." They moved quickly. Marcus slammed the console switches, and with a hiss and a groan of metal, the bridge doors sealed shut. Outside, the corridor went silent, eerily calm. "It's a trap," Elena whispered. "Now we wait." Minutes passed like hours. The ship groaned under pressure, lights flickering as the Predator tested the doors. Then, a sound broke the silence, a low, warning growl that vibrated through the bridge floor. Elena felt it in her chest. The Predator was outside, circling, calculating. Its intelligence was terrifying, but its patience gave them hope. Humans could plan too. They could use strategy. Marcus leaned toward Elena. "We can't just wait forever. It's only a matter of time before it finds a way in." Elena nodded. "Then we fight. But we fight smart. Lila, can you help with the ship systems?" Lila's voice was weak but determined. I can rig the turrets. Maybe create a diversion. If we can lure it in." Elena smiled grimly. "Exactly. We lure it in and hit it with everything we've got." The Predator's growl grew louder. It knew something was happening. Elena motioned for Marcus to check the side turrets. She herself monitored the Predator's energy signature on the console. It was moving faster than anything human could track, almost impossible to anticipate. Suddenly, the Predator struck. The sealed doors rattled violently, sparks flying as it smashed against the reinforced metal. Elena shouted for Marcus to fire the turrets. The turrets roared to life, shooting streams of plasma. The Predator twisted and dodged with unnatural speed, but the shots forced it back. The ship shook with the impact. "It's strong," Marcus said, jaw clenched. "Too strong for a normal fight." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Then we fight smarter. Aura, open secondary vents to Corridor 7. Turrets cover the main entrance. The plan was risky. If the Predator realized what they were doing, it could strike faster than they could react. But it was their only chance. A shadow moved in the vent. The Predator was clever. It knew the humans' plan and tried to bypass the turrets. But Elena had anticipated this. She activated a plasma trap in the vent, a sudden burst of energy that scorched the metal walls. The Predator roared, a sound that shook the bridge. Sparks flew, and the lights flickered violently. For a moment, it seemed to falter, stunned by the unexpected attack. "That's it!" Elena shouted. "Keep it inside the trap." The creature stumbled into the corridor lined with turrets. Marcus fired, Lila directed the defense systems, and plasma blasts tore through the passage. The Predator screeched, twisted, and fought back, but the human strategy was working. Elena watched closely, calculating every movement. The Predator was learning, adapting, but so were they. Every strike it avoided taught them something about its weaknesses, its patterns, its speed, the way it hunted. Then, in a daring move, Elena ran forward, plasma rifle aimed, heart pounding. She fired a precise shot at the Predator's flank. Sparks flew as the creature hissed in pain. It was not dead, but it had been slowed. Marcus joined her, firing another shot. The Predator stumbled, retreating a few steps, and Elena realized they had done it. They had turned the tables, if only slightly. But the relief was short-lived. Aura's calm voice broke through, colder than ever. "Warning, Predator is retreating, for now. It will return, stronger and faster. Humans are not yet victorious." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Then we prepare. We learn. We survive. They thought we were civilized, predictable, weak, but they don't know humans. Not yet. And they never will." Outside the sealed bridge, the Predator's growl faded, but it was not gone. Somewhere in the dark corridors of the Odyssey, it waited. Patient, calculating, intelligent. And it would return. Inside, the humans breathed heavily, hearts racing. They had survived the first encounter, but the hunt was far from over. And Elena knew one thing with absolute certainty. The Predator had underestimated them, and humans never stayed down for long. The Odyssey was quiet, but the silence was deceptive. Elena stood at the bridge console, her hands tight around her plasma rifle. Outside, the darkness of space stretched infinitely, but inside the ship, danger lurked in every shadow. The Predator had retreated, but it had not disappeared. It was intelligent, it was patient, and it was learning. Marcus paced, glancing at every monitor. "It won't stay away forever. It's studying us, learning our weaknesses. We have to do the same." Elena nodded. "Exactly. We survived the first hunt, but the next one could be our last if we don't adapt. We need traps, diversions, anything to slow it down." Lila, recovering in the med bay, joined them. Her arm was still bandaged, but her eyes were sharp with determination. "I've been running calculations. If we can predict its movement patterns, we can set up a corridor trap. Force it into a controlled area, then hit it with maximum firepower." Elena smiled grimly. "That's the plan. Aura, open schematics for the lower decks. We need to map every possible corridor and junction." The AI hummed softly. "Mapping complete. Suggested strategy: isolate Predator using environmental controls and turret placements. Probability of containment: moderate. Probability of neutralization: low, but increasing with human coordination." Elena exchanged a glance with Marcus. "Moderate is good enough. Humans are better than moderate. Let's make it happen." They moved through the ship quickly, setting up plasma turrets, sealing emergency bulkheads, and preparing the lower decks like a labyrinth. Every step was calculated, every decision was designed to force the Predator into a trap it couldn't escape. Hours passed. The Predator had not shown itself, but Elena could feel it watching. Somewhere in the ventilation, in the dark corridors, it waited. Its intelligence was terrifying. It wasn't just a beast, it was a strategist, learning from every encounter. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the lower deck. Turrets activated automatically, sending plasma streaking down the corridor. Sparks flew, metal screeched, and a horrifying growl filled the ship. "There!" Marcus shouted. "It's moving toward the trap." Elena raised her rifle. The predator appeared at the far end of the corridor, a blur of black scales and glowing red eyes. It moved with calculated speed, dodging the first bursts of plasma fire, but the corridor was narrow. There was nowhere for it to escape. "Hold your fire until it reaches the center," Elena commanded. The predator lunged, closing in. Elena's heart pounded. Every instinct screamed at her to move, to duck, to fire, but she held steady. As it reached the center of the corridor, Lila activated the final trap. Energy barriers slammed shut, cutting off escape routes. Turrets unleashed a concentrated stream of plasma, forcing the creature to twist and dodge, but the corridor's confined space limited its options. The predator roared in frustration, but it was cornered. Elena fired her plasma rifle, aiming for the glowing red eyes. Sparks erupted as her shots hit, and the creature stumbled backward. Marcus fired next, hitting its flank, while Lila controlled the turrets, keeping it contained. It was the first time the humans had seen the predator falter. They realized something vital. It could be beaten, but only through intelligence, strategy, and teamwork. Breathing heavily, Elena stepped closer. "It's learning," she said, almost to herself. "It adapts fast. But so do we." The creature glared at them, its eyes burning with something more than instinct. There was a spark of understanding in its gaze. It wasn't just a predator, it was aware, calculating. And now, it knew humans were different. Dangerous. Unpredictable. For the first time, the Odyssey felt alive in a new way. The predator had underestimated humanity's ability to think, to plan, to fight back. A sudden shift in the predator's stance made Elena freeze. It wasn't attacking, yet. Instead, it seemed to be observing, calculating its next move. This was the moment humans had waited for. The predator was testing them, as much as they were testing it. "Stay ready," Elena whispered. "It's not over. This was just the first round. And we're not the prey anymore." Outside, the darkness of space remained silent. Inside, the humans had turned the tables, showing resilience, intelligence, and courage. But they all knew one thing. The predator was still alive, still hunting, and the game was far from finished. Somewhere in the shadows, the creature's growl faded, replaced by a silent promise. It would return. Stronger. Faster. Smarter. And so would the humans. The Odyssey was tense, alive with quiet energy. Every crew member moved with sharp focus, knowing the predator had learned from their last encounter. Elena stood at the bridge, scanning the monitors. Marcus checked the weapon systems, while Lila monitored the ship's structural integrity. Outside, space remained calm and dark, but inside, a storm was brewing. "We can't let it catch us off guard again," Elena said, her voice steady but firm. "It's smarter than last time. We need to be smarter too." Marcus nodded. "We've seen its patterns. It moves fast, but it repeats certain behaviors. If we anticipate, we can trap it permanently this time." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Anticipate and strike. That's the only way. Humans are hunters too. We adapt." Suddenly, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared, red lights flashing across the bridge. Aura's calm voice cut in, sharper than usual. "Warning, hull breach detected. Multiple sectors compromised. Predator has entered the lower engineering bay." Elena grabbed her rifle. "It's testing us again. Let's hit it before it gains full control of the ship." They raced through the corridors, moving carefully but quickly. The predator had already begun its assault. Metal doors twisted, sparks flew, and debris littered the hallways. It wasn't just attacking them physically, it was trying to control the ship's systems, making every step a trap. As they reached the engineering bay, they found the predator waiting. Its eyes glowed red, and its sleek black form shimmered in the dim light. It had grown larger, stronger, adapting to the humans' attacks. Elena fired first, the plasma bolts striking the predator's flank. It hissed and twisted, dodging skillfully, but the humans had learned from their last fight. Marcus coordinated with the ship's turrets, firing in a pattern that funneled the predator into a narrow corridor. The predator growled, the sound vibrating through the walls, a mix of frustration and intelligence. It attacked, but every move was anticipated. Elena and Marcus moved in perfect sync, a combination of speed and strategy that forced the creature to retreat. Lila, monitoring remotely, activated environmental controls. Steam erupted from vents, blinding the predator temporarily. Sparks and smoke filled the bay, and the humans took advantage, firing plasma shots in bursts, wearing it down. But the predator was relentless. With a leap and a swipe of its massive claws, it shattered a bulkhead, sending metal flying and forcing the humans to dive for cover. Its strength was terrifying, its speed unmatched, but Elena realized something important. It relied on patterns. It could adapt, yes, but humans could adapt faster. Keep it moving, Elena shouted. Don't let it corner us. They forced it back into the corridor trap they had prepared. Turrets fired automatically, and energy barriers slammed down behind it. The predator twisted and struggled, realizing too late that it was trapped. Plasma bolts hit it repeatedly, and Elena fired the final shot at its glowing eyes. It screeched, a sound that shook the ship, and then fell, stunned but not dead. Its chest heaved, and red eyes glared, full of intelligence and fury. Elena lowered her rifle slightly, breathing heavily. It's not over, she muttered. It's strong, smart, but so are we. Marcus looked at her, astonished. We actually did it. We forced it into the trap. For the first time, it's vulnerable. Lila monitored the systems. Hull integrity is holding. Predator's mobility is limited. If we push carefully, we can contain it completely. The crew moved with precision, sealing energy barriers and activating remote containment fields. The predator roared, striking the barriers, testing their strength, but the humans had learned its limits. Slowly, methodically, they cornered it, proving that intelligence, teamwork, and courage could overcome even the deadliest foe. Elena stepped back, rifle ready, as the creature struggled within the trap. Its red eyes glared at them, a mixture of respect and hatred. Somewhere deep inside, it understood something fundamental. Humans were not easy prey. Humans survive, Elena whispered. They think we are civilized, but we are hunters too. And we never give up. Outside the containment field, the predator growled, silent now, calculating its next move. Inside, the humans breathed heavily, hearts racing. They had won the first major fight, but the predator was alive, learning, and waiting. And Elena knew one thing: this hunt was far from over. The predator had underestimated them once, but next time, it would face the full strength of human intelligence, strategy, and willpower. The Odyssey had survived the night. The predator had tested them. And humans had proven something extraordinary. No matter how deadly the enemy, no matter how smart or strong, they would fight, adapt, and survive. The Odyssey was tense, vibrating with every distant sound. The predator was still trapped in the containment field, but its presence filled the ship like a storm waiting to break. Elena stood at the bridge console, heart pounding. She could feel the creature's intelligence, its focus, even through the energy barriers. Marcus adjusted the turret controls. It's contained, for now. But I can feel it. It's planning something. I don't know what, but it's not done. Elena nodded. It's never done. And we can't underestimate it again. It's learning. Faster than we thought. Lila monitored the environmental systems, sweat on her brow. If it breaks containment, we lose the ship. Hull breaches could tear it apart, or worse, we become its prey again. We need a contingency plan, now. Elena turned sharply. Exactly. Prepare the secondary traps. Reinforce all bulkheads. I want every corridor ready, every turret charged, every escape route covered. This is it. We either end this, or we fight to survive. Hours passed in tense silence. Every alarm, every hum of the engines, every flicker of light felt amplified. Then it happened. The Predator's growl echoed through the ship, low and resonant, vibrating the walls and floor. Sparks flew as the containment field flickered. "It's breaking the field," Marcus shouted. "Energy output is spiking." Elena fired her rifle, plasma bolts striking the shimmering black scales. The creature twisted violently, hissing, but the field held, barely. Lila's fingers flew over the console. "I'm reinforcing it. But it's strong, stronger than anything we've seen. We need to hit it now." The Predator slammed into the barrier, and the ship shook violently. Metal groaned, alarms blared, and a deep vibration ran through every corridor. Its strength was terrifying, more than they had anticipated. "It's testing us," Elena said, teeth clenched. "It wants to see if we'll panic." "We don't panic. Humans don't panic." Marcus coordinated with the turrets. "We'll hit it with everything. Plasma, energy barriers, automated guns. Force it to the lower deck trap. It's our only chance." The Predator roared, breaking the silence, then hurled itself backward, smashing the containment field against reinforced bulkheads. Sparks flew like lightning. Elena gritted her teeth, firing precise shots at its glowing red eyes. It paused, momentarily dazed, then leaped with impossible speed toward the corridor they had prepared. The humans followed, every movement synchronized. Turrets fired in bursts, energy barriers snapped shut behind it, and plasma fire lit the dark corridors like a deadly storm. The Predator twisted and turned, dodging attacks with terrifying agility, but the humans had learned its patterns. Every strike they had endured, every observation of its movements, gave them an edge. Slowly, methodically, they forced it toward the lower deck trap. Lila monitored the systems. "We're ready. Activate the final pulse. It will overload its neural response. It won't recover if it gets hit." Elena's hand hovered over the console, finger trembling slightly. "Do it." A brilliant pulse of energy shot through the corridor. The Predator screeched, twisting violently, trying to escape, but the trap held. Plasma shots slammed into it from all sides. Sparks flew. Metal buckled under the pressure. It roared, a sound that shook the Odyssey to its core. But it faltered, slowed by the humans' relentless attacks. For the first time, Elena saw it hesitate, an almost human expression of frustration and calculation. Marcus fired the final turret shot, hitting the Predator's flank with a concentrated plasma blast. It screeched, then stumbled, crashing against the bulkhead. The corridor went quiet, save for the hiss of cooling energy barriers. Elena lowered her rifle slowly, breathing heavily. The Predator lay on the floor, battered but alive. Its red eyes glowed weakly, still intelligent, still aware. "It's not over," Elena whispered. "It survived, but it knows now. Humans fight. Humans adapt. And humans never give up." Outside the corridor, the ship was damaged but intact. Systems were flickering, smoke rising from sparking circuits. The crew was exhausted, covered in sweat and grime, but alive. And for the first time, they realized something powerful. The Predator had underestimated humanity. Somewhere deep inside, in the shadowed recesses of the lower decks, the Predator stirred. It had survived, but it had learned a lesson. Humans were not easy prey. They were hunters, thinkers, and survivors. And Elena knew this truth with absolute clarity. The war wasn't over, but the humans had proven their strength. The Odyssey drifted through space, battered but unbroken. The Predator had struck, had hunted, had tested the humans. And yet, humans had endured. They had survived the deadliest attack of their lives. For the first time, the Predator had a new respect for its prey. And for the humans, the fire of survival burned brighter than ever. The Odyssey shuddered as the Predator stirred, weak but far from defeated. The corridors smelled of smoke and burnt metal. Sparks flew from damaged panels, and the hum of the ship's engines was jagged and uneven. The crew was exhausted, bruised, and battered, but alive. Elena stood at the bridge console, gripping her plasma rifle. Her heart pounded, but her mind was clear. "We finish this," she said firmly. "We survive, or we die trying. But we're not going down without a fight." Marcus adjusted the turret controls, voice tight. "It's smart, Elena. Faster, stronger, and more aware than anything we've faced. One wrong move." "I know," Elena interrupted. "But we've learned. We adapt. That's what makes us human." Lila, leaning against the console for support, nodded. "I've rerouted all remaining power to the turrets and energy barriers. We have one chance to contain it completely." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Then we make it count. It's cornered, it's exhausted, and we know its patterns. This is our moment." The Predator roared from the lower decks, a terrifying sound that shook the ship. It slammed against the reinforced bulkheads, testing the humans one last time. Sparks flew, metal groaned, and the walls trembled. But Elena remained calm. "Stay focused," she shouted. "Aim for the weak points, eyes, joints, anything." The Predator lunged, a blur of shadow and lethal precision. Plasma bolts tore through the corridor as Marcus and the turrets fired relentlessly. Elena tracked the glowing red eyes, aiming for every movement, anticipating its dodges. It twisted, turned, and slammed against the walls. The humans moved as one, coordinated, precise, relentless. Every shot, every plasma bolt, every trap had been set for this moment. Slowly, methodically, they forced the creature into the final chamber, a narrow corridor reinforced with energy barriers and turret fire. The Predator hissed, thrashing, eyes glowing like coals in the dark. It realized the trap too late. Energy barriers snapped shut, isolating it completely. Turrets fired in perfect harmony, plasma searing its scales. Sparks flew, and the creature roared in frustration and pain, thrashing violently against the barriers. Elena stepped forward, firing precise shots at its glowing eyes. Marcus fired from the rear turret. Lila monitored the containment systems, keeping the energy pulse steady. Every move was coordinated, every strike calculated. Finally, with a deafening roar, the Predator collapsed to the floor, exhausted, battered, and unable to move. Its glowing eyes dimmed, but the intelligence in them was unmistakable. It was alive, but it had been beaten. Elena lowered her rifle slowly, breathing heavily. "It's over," she whispered. "We survived. We won." Marcus exhaled, his body sagging with relief. "We did it. Against everything. We did it." Lila smiled faintly. "Humans adapt. Humans survive. That's why we win." The Odyssey was damaged but intact. Smoke rose from sparking panels, but the crew had endured. They had faced a Predator stronger, faster, and smarter than anything they had imagined, and they had survived. Not by brute force alone, but by intelligence, teamwork, and courage. Elena looked at the creature, still lying in the containment field. Even in defeat, it seemed almost respectful. The Predator had tested them, hunted them, and tried to destroy them, but humans had proven themselves worthy. Somewhere deep in the silence of space, the Predator's consciousness seemed to acknowledge a simple truth: humans were not just prey. They were hunters. They were survivors. They were intelligent, unpredictable, and fearless. Elena turned to her crew. "We thought we were just ordinary humans out here in the galaxy," she said softly. "But today, we proved something extraordinary. We survive. We fight. We win. And nothing, not even the deadliest Predator, can take that away." The crew nodded, hearts pounding, eyes filled with relief and pride. Outside, the stars shone like tiny diamonds against the black canvas of space. The Odyssey drifted forward, battered but alive. Somewhere in the shadows, the Predator rested, learning, aware, but defeated. It had tested humanity and learned a harsh truth: humans were not to be underestimated. Elena watched the stars, thinking of the battles ahead. This was only one predator, one challenge, in a galaxy filled with unknown threats. But humanity had proven something vital. No matter how powerful the enemy, no matter how intelligent or deadly, humans would fight, adapt, and survive. The hunt was over, for now. But the legend of humans as hunters, survivors, and warriors had only just begun.